Reading is important because if you can read, you can learn anything about everything and everything about anything by Tommy DePaulo. Reading has been around for centuries, and reading can come across as many different examples, such as reading a magazine, a novel, a newspaper, even a college essay. Reading is all around us. Regardless or not if one enjoys reading, it is a huge part of our lives, and it proves to be incredibly important. For as long as I can remember, reading has taken up a major part of my life, not to mention space in my closet. It has always been something I looked forward to and enjoyed spending my time on. Being able to open up any type of book or magazine and being able to jump in straight to the story has always been something so mesmerizing and fulfilling to me. In my speech, I'll be covering 3 main points. 1. Reading expands your vocabulary knowledge. 2. Reading helps to relieve anxiety. And 3. Reading broadens your mind. Reading is important because it expands one's vocabulary. Many of the words you know were probably learned by coming across them in reading, conversation, or even watching television, and the rate at which you come across new words can only increase your vocabulary. Say if you were to learn 1 new word a day through a form of communication, that's only 365 words a year. But if you were to learn countless new words every day through a form of reading, you're expanding your vocabulary knowledge immensely. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, it has been proposed that individual differences in word reading could affect the rate of vocabulary growth, mediated by the amount of reading experience. This process is referred to as the Matthew effect. In simpler words, often people with low vocabulary knowledge don't enjoy reading. To many, it is just a huge chore, but usually it is due to the fact that they don't understand many of the words they are reading. But you have to start somewhere, so start small. Pick up a newspaper, get on the internet, because every little bit you do will help. Furthermore, this increase in vocabulary growth and knowledge will also speed up the process of how fast you learn and absorb new materials outside of reading. Learning how to build a better vocabulary can be a profitable investment for you and your future. And how better to do that than through reading? Next, reading can relieve anxiety. Reading is important because it relieves anxiety that can accumulate in our everyday lives. Whether you're stressed about an upcoming test or meeting someone new, stressful situations are all around us and come in many different forms. Luckily, there are ways to cope with these stressful moments, and one way is through reading. According to an online article, a 2009 study at the University of Sussex found that reading can reduce stress up to 68%. It works better and faster than other relaxation methods, such as listening to music or drinking a hot cup of tea. This is because your mind is invited to a literary world that is free from stressors that plague your daily life. As reading is found all around us, it is easy to forget that you can open up a book for the benefits of relieving stress. Sitting down and reading a book, an article, a magazine, or reading just for kicks can reduce your anxiety, but also reduces your heart rate and eases muscle tension. Imagine a world where people read more for recreation. The lives of individuals will be far less stressed and instead calmer. All we need to do is allow ourselves a couple minutes each day to focus on nothing but sitting down with a few inspirational words. Lastly, reading is important because it broadens your mind. Reading can provide inspiration with endless exciting possibilities. Biographies introduce us to the important lives of other individuals who we can glean from, while fantasy books can spark our creative side. Reading certain subject matter, such as a novel, can often help us put ourselves in someone else's shoes. It can make us feel as though we are a character involved in a part of someone's special story. These examples affect a certain portion of our brain that helps us to broaden our minds. Unfortunately, the widespread use of television in this day and age has greatly reduced the broadening of our minds. With the average American household having 3 television sets, the U.S. has currently more television sets than it does individuals. Children between the ages 8 to 18 watch 3 hours of television a day. All of this leads to a decline in the broadening of their minds. According to the Young Readers Foundation, kids who indulge in reading books and learning new things do better at school. They are more creative, open to new ideas, and develop empathy for others. If kids are introduced to reading at a young age, like they are with the television, they'd be open to an entire new world. They'd be gaining knowledge that could empower their minds and broaden their range. To wrap things up, as long as there are human beings roaming the earth, its inhabitants will be reading, whether it be reading a novel, an essay, a comic strip, or even instructions on a manual. Reading is essential. Reading expands your vocabulary, helps relieve anxiety, broadens your mind, and the list goes on. The decision is up to us. We can decide to watch TV or play on our phones, or we can broaden our minds, be less stressed out, and have a larger vocabulary by simply taking a moment out of each day to read.